Plaintiff Robert Wolf says he was hired by the defendant and his father to tear down a trailer. However, after he successfully completed that job, the defendant and his father falsely accused him of theft, and as a result, he was arrested. Robert claims he was eventually found not guilty, so he's suing his accusers for travel expenses, lost wages, and emotional distress. Defendant Dan Benthal says he called the police on Robert after he trespassed on his property. Dan claims after Robert was arrested, the stolen property in question was found in Robert's possession, and Robert dragged the court case out over a 3-year period. He's countersuing as a result of Robert filing this frivolous lawsuit.
Start with you.
His father and him hired me to tear down a trailer in December of 11, and I went and tore it down. They said they had another trailer. 3 months later, they contacted me, and his dad lured me to the property with the pretense of tearing down this trailer. And when I showed up, he had 6 carloads full of meth heads surround me and run me off of the property after I'd only been there for about 10 minutes. And
why did he do that?
He wanted to accuse me of stealing, so he had witnesses show up to show that I was on the property.
Why did he want to accuse you of stealing?
I couldn't tell you. I went there to do a job. And
did you ever bother to ask?
He never would talk to me. I've never talked to the man.
Mr. Wolf, I have to intervene right here. When I had you show up at the first property in 2011, I showed you the trailer. I told you to not go to the property over on County Road 268 until the judge awarded the property to me because it wasn't legally mine yet until I'd finish foreclosure. I asked you twice, do you understand not to set foot on that property? You answered you did.
I never talked to you.
Hold on, sir, you say you never talked to him. Let him.
In March, you called up and kept wanting to go to this property. You said, my father said he would meet you out there. Let's say that he did, but I call you a liar on that. If he didn't show up to meet you at the property, does that mean just help yourself to anything on the property? And the meth heads you said are the owners of the property legally until October.
I was waiting for that.
Now, what do you got to say about that? When they called me up and asked if you had permission to be on the property, what did you do? You didn't stay to defend yourself. You loaded your butt up in the car and sped off. An innocent man would stick around and answer why he was there, not go hiding.
Now we have it.
I was surrounded by people. I went to a farm with his dad's permission.
Sir. Is this the first time you're hearing all this?
Yeah, I've never talked to this man.
This is the first time you've heard all this?
Yeah.
You were prosecuted for it? Huh?
Yeah, found not guilty.
And they never told you what you were being prosecuted for? Because you just say you've never talked. Found not guilty, you went to court?
Yeah. I never heard what he's saying now.
All right, and your lawsuit is based on you being prosecuted?
Yes.
For what exactly?
For stealing, 2 counts of stealing, and I was found not guilty.
Stealing what?
Copper.
On the second occasion where the meth heads were there?
Yes.
All right. His dad called the police or he called the police?
When I was on the property, those guys called his dad in Columbia, and his dad was in Columbia and filed a report of the missing copper from Columbia. He wasn't even on the property.
So what did he do?
He never was there. I never saw him.
So why are you suing him?
I'm suing his dad.
I'm representing my father. My father, since this lawsuit has started, I've put power of attorney because my father is now is hooked up.
All right, got it.
More of Judge Mathis when we return. Plaintiff Robert Wolf says the defendant had him falsely arrested for theft, and he was eventually found not guilty. But the defendant insists Robert did steal the property and even admitted it to the police.
The lost wages and travel expenses are for going to court?
3 years I had to go to court over this to be found not guilty.
How many days?
15.
Did you miss? You missed 15 days?
Yes.
What are you saying the average, the daily pay that you
Around
missed?
$175 a day is what I made.
What do you do for a living?
I do scrap metal.
That's pretty good work. All right.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I would also like to bring in evidence this model citizen over here. His arrest report for DWI, marijuana possession, driving
irrelevant
under
unless you
suspended
can tell,
license.
sir, unless you can tell me about previous thefts. I don't want to hear anything about his record. And in this case, you obviously are sticking to your guns about the prosecution because he's suing you, and your defense is frivolous lawsuit, meaning that he has no right to sue you because you did not, or your father did not, have him maliciously prosecuted. And he says that the prosecution was malicious and because he was found not guilty. However, sir, the definition of malicious prosecution is that, put your paper down, I'll let you know when I want something. The definition of malicious prosecution is that someone intentionally prosecuted you for something they knew was wrong, intending to have you arrested. You must prove that his father had absolutely no reason and that he intended to have you arrested knowing that you did nothing. He did it out of malice. He didn't have any reason to think you did one thing. Now, what reason did your father have to believe he did anything?
Okay, the renters called me up and said that he was trespassing on the property and wanted to know if we gave him permission to do it. I said, by no means. I told Mr. Wolf twice, do not set foot on that property till I had ownership of it.
He never talked to me.
Quiet, sir.
No. So I told them, have him arrested for trespassing. I said, I'm on my way out. We drove out to the property only to find that he had already sped away. If I had permission to be on the property, I would have stuck around till I showed up. He didn't want to stick around because his car was full of aluminum wheels and tanks.
How do you know that?
Wire. How do I know? It says in the report that I have here.
Let's see it.
All right.
Sir, did this happen? You were on the property after he told you twice not to be there, and then ultimately you were found to have all these things he referred to.
I never spoke to this man ever.
How about his father, sir?
His father gave me directions to the property and was supposed to
No
meet
one
me.
ever told you not to be on the property?
They told me he explained for 2 hours about what he wanted done.
So the answer is no. No one ever told you to leave,
No.
to not come
I
onto
was
the
told
property?
to meet him there.
All
and
right.
start working.
And you never took any of the property, the copper or whatever he's in?
There was no copper on the property.
Got it. And this is what, sir? Statement of probable cause. Mr. Wolf told me that he went to the property and indeed took copper and aluminum items along with a tire and a rim. Did you tell anybody that?
When I was at the property, I was picking up metal around the building so I could get ready.
Did you take it?
No, I did not.
You didn't tell anyone that?
I didn't tell anybody that I took it. I went to the property to start picking up metal.
You picked the metal up. Did you take it with you?
I picked up 300 pounds.
Did you take it with you?
I thought I had a job.
You've been telling me you didn't.
I didn't take any copper. It was angle iron.
You told me you didn't take anything. How did he beat the case?
He's not reporting angle iron.
Quiet. How did he beat the case?
How did he beat the case? This man drug this out for 3 years. We was assigned 3 different prosecutors at the length of time. His lawyer had 3 years to prepare for this.
Getting adjournment after adjournment after adjournment.
Right. The prosecutor, the last one assigned.
By the way, folks, if you want to beat your case, just keep getting adjournments. And his attorney knew that. He's a smart attorney.
I would like to enter
so he beat
all of the
case.
continuance
What else?
on this here. And if you'll read the last paragraph about the salt in the wound, because he knows this man's a liar and a thief. And now the rest of mid-Missouri knows you. And you won't
Based on my review of the court, as well as my own file, it appears that Wolf's jury trial was continued on 9 occasions. 6 of those continuances were at Wolf's attorney's request. And you say you never took a thing.
They kept adding charges, Your Honor.
Let me see what you handed me, sir. All right, Callaway County Sheriff. On March 14th, this is the sheriff's office. So they spoke with Robert Wolf. Wolf told me that he went to the property and indeed did take the copper and aluminum items, along with the tire and the rim. What?
I didn't take any copper. I
well, you told the police that.
Scrap metal.
You told the police.
Metal, not copper.
Sir, even if you won your case, however you won it, whether it was through continuances and therefore they couldn't find all the evidence, or whether you had a good lawyer who got you off the hook, or whether you were innocent, the fact is his father had a reason to believe it. And that's all he needed, was a reason to believe it. He didn't do this maliciously. You admitted to taking things. You come up with all these excuses,
I was hired
but
to do
you
a job.
admitted to taking them. That means he believed you did wrong, even though you won. Malicious prosecution. Once again, someone makes up a lie on you with the intention of going after you for no reason, just to hurt you. Like you claimed he did. He set me up just to come over there because he had these 6 crystal meth heads over there, and it was a setup all along just to send me to jail. No, he went and called because you indeed took the things that you claimed you never took, even though you believe you were entitled. You took them, and you told me earlier you didn't. $5,000 for a frivolous lawsuit is for what? How does he owe you?
The frivolous lawsuit is he's continued this. I've had to leave a
Continued what?
Continue this lawsuit all the way to Chicago, 400 miles from home. I have a seeing impaired wife. I've left a father at home that's now had heart surgery that I've had to hire somebody to watch. This man here, it's a frivolous lawsuit to just continue this on when he knows he's a liar and a thief.
It's not frivolous. When he was charged with something based on you all's allegations, he beat the case, so now he wants to charge you for all the time that he spent. That's not frivolous. Unfortunately, he has no real cause of action because it wasn't malicious. Okay. It was legitimate for your dad to construe his actions as a theft. Have a good day. Both your claims dismissed.
I think the police report spoke for itself. You looked like a fool out there. Just admit it and move on.
I was found not guilty of stealing.